We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham, Book 2. This is a 2023 miniseries from DC Comics under their Black Label banner, which means it's not necessarily canon, it's just a story they decided to tell. And this is in prestige format, so it does have square binding and costs $7. But it's on really nice paper. This was written and drawn by Rafael Grampa, colors by Matheus Lopes, John Workman on letters, cover by Rafael Grampa. Cover's okay, doesn't really tell you anything about it though. I think it could have been a little bit more dynamic. It's just a picture of Batman with a bloodied mouth looking like he chipped a tooth if you look at it from a distance. So we find out that the murders have something to do with the closed down children's ward at Arkham Asylum. Gordon interviews the Crytoon killer who was overseeing the manufacture of TNT illegally by some homeless people that he was enslaving, and it somehow seems to connect to the serial killings that have been going on with the rich elites. Now, Gordon's boss, the commissioner, who's also the mayor's nephew, is not very happy with Gordon because a lot of the information that Gordon seems to have comes from Batman, and he doesn't like that very much. Well, the killings keep occurring, and it looks like there may be actually more than one person in costume running around here. And Bruce Wayne may have spent some time in Arkham Asylum, and we find out exactly what that's all about because he attacked somebody as a child who he thought was the killer of his parents, and he ended up causing serious damage. Well, then we find out a revelation there, and Bruce Wayne makes a rather snide side comment to the activist lady about the unhoused, so we had to get some more social commentary wedged in there, and Batman and Gordon have a minor disagreement before Gordon goes to investigate this priest whose name was on the patient list, but the priest is way too old, and we meet this character, Mother, and he sort of reminds me of Killer Moth, but with a much cooler looking costume. But that guy apparently is at odds with somebody else, and the Crytoon killer might be trying to make a break for it. So we're left with a lot of questions and the possibility of a cult and some repressed memories and some other strangeness going on. I don't want to give too much away because there's some really interesting twists and turns. Overall, it's a pretty interesting story. They did alter a little bit about what is currently canon for the death of Bruce Wayne's parents, which is probably why this is under Black Label. Also, Batman's costume is noticeably different with straps and things like that on it that aren't normally there. And I don't know if I like that or not. I have a few problems with the costume because it makes his neck look really long. Otherwise, the story's really interesting. I didn't have a problem with that. The colors really shine in a lot of these. The scenes with the Moth character look really cool. Again, I'm not a big fan of this art style, but for the style that it's in, it is very well done. Obviously, the artist really does understand sequential art very, very well. So while I'm not a fan of the style, I can see there is a lot of talent here for the style that it's in, and a lot of really good perspective shots and angles in here that would really be beneficial to people in the comic industry today who need to learn something other than straightforward flat angles. So I'll recommend this. I think the story is pretty compelling and interesting, and the little revelation halfway through about an incident in Bruce's past was an interesting twist. I don't know if I think it would ever be good for canon or not. Probably not. But it was an interesting take on the death of the Waynes. So I think it's worth the read. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't feel cheated for my money, even though I'm not a giant fan of this style of art. I think it's a little too cartoony, but artist has a really good grasp on sequential art. So if you're looking for a decent Batman story and you're not finding anything in the current books, this might be something to look into. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.